ESI Analyst is a software platform designed to support modern data analysis and review. Data types include corporate chat applications, text message, social media, geolocation, and financial transactions. Our market research determined modern data is rapidly expanding, and with the combination of ESI Analyst and CloudNine, clients get a workflow to handle all e-discovery evidence in one platform. We've also gained a team of industry pioneers to innovate our modern data solutions.
We were working with CloudNine as a partner and found a lot of synergies in how we are looking to address all data types that impact investigations and discovery, really in the e-discovery world. What we're finding is that the acquisition of ESI Analyst is now expanding the overall offering into many other markets, including government, investigative agencies, those types where data is needing to be put together to tell the entire story, where someone was, what sort of websites they might have visited, could be traditional email, but mostly it's our smartphones. It's all the data that we continually put on those little tiny computers that ultimately help tell that story. And so when we looked at this acquisition, it made sense because all of the processes around traditional discovery was fully mapped out and hits all the tick boxes. But what was missing is a modern data solution. And they also realized that the industry is continually putting this data in as a document versus treating the data that needs to do proper link analysis across all of these data types and even across the communication types, where someone might start a conversation in an email, switch over to WhatsApp or Slack or any other chat application and continue the conversation there. When you look at a document review workflow, you will certainly miss that context. ESI Analyst puts all of that together, and that was why CloudNine acquired us, is to make sure that we could help round out those offerings as a whole. ESI Analyst is important to our industry because we've had enough years where the data is getting converted to documents to go through a document review workflow, and the industry is finding that is actually a very tedious, challenging process. It takes a long time to get through that data. There's no deduplication. You're missing a lot of in many instances, the metadata and context around those conversations. And so for ESI Analysts to come in and help properly address these data types in review, our clients have come back and said, look, it took us days and weeks to go through this doc by doc or text by text or even conversation by conversation in a document review workflow, where it took them hours to get through and find key data using ESI Analyst. So the importance lies in how the data is being processed and organized for review and analysis by leveraging the metadata and creating near native renderings of threads and conversations, but really giving access to all of the data where that can get searched and managed appropriately. There's actually quite a few reasons. First, deduplication across all of these devices. So you have multiple conversations going on across devices, and so what you typically see in a document review platform is that same conversation will show up if it's, let's say, a group conversation with 5 people and all 5 devices have been created into documents. You would see that group conversation 5 times. In our system, you only see that once. Another is the familiarity of how the data looks on devices. We represent an ESI Analyst as well. You can see very familiar bubble threads going back and forth and really follow the conversation quickly, navigating from one day to the next. So a very fast way to see 2 people's conversations over a period of months or years. You can actually just day by day go through and, most importantly, tag those items individually. Another one is how we tie actor profiles together with each of the individual people. For instance, I have a Facebook account, a WhatsApp account, a phone number, an email. And what we're doing is we tie all of those elements to a person. So a single toggle allows you to filter and see all those types of data tied to that one individual, even geolocation or computer activities, all of those tied to an individual. Another is telling the story altogether, right? So you can see when somebody might have plugged in a thumb drive, went to Google Drive, downloaded something, saved that to an external drive, right? And then picked up their phone and sent a text message saying, hey, I got the stuff. You can't do that in a linear review platform. This is definitely something where you can tell the story, even where that person was while they were doing that. If geoservices were turned on to their device or an IP address was used, you'll get a proximity geolocation lookup there. The other part is how easy it is to get data from a device into our system. The industry has to process that data, where for us, the process is simply uploading that data to the system. All of the automation of creating load files, assimilating the threads together, and even putting together all of the pictures and videos and attachments and everything all comes in as a single streamlined process.
ESI Analyst is 4 years old and has been battle tested on the country's largest investigations. The software is securely hosted in AWS and comes with the CloudNine white glove service clients have enjoyed for years.
Another thing that I think people would want to know about ESI Analyst is that it's highly secure. This is an AWS. Everyone has their own dedicated environment. Duo two-factor authentication to get into the system. There's a lot of layers around how we treat the security of the data that gives our clients confidence, but allows us to be a part of those big matters. So one of the recent cases that we found huge successes with is we had an issue where the C-suite executive deleted everything off of their device. Well, the judge got pretty upset about that and made the individual identify over 100 people that person would have talked to about such and such a thing. And this is a huge bet the farm case. Well, they went out and collected all 100 plus devices and used ESI Analyst to reconstruct those conversations as if it came from that person's device. Not only did we do that, there was also a lot of deduplication involved, so they're able to streamline a lot of those conversations and processes, and the efficiency in which they were able to go through and review that data versus original scope was to load them all into a document review workflow, made it very easy for them to find those key conversations about the specific incident or thing, and then they were able to produce and hit the timeframes that they were needing to, versus having to push off and create have extensions to those deadlines. So it was a really big win for them, great win for us to really make sure that our processes are in place for not only big, massive cases, but also very specific needed niches, like reconstructing those threads as if it came from that person's device.